Hi, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I'm in Ireland. Today I have the Cork Cask collection. So the very first thing I did was the Virgin Oak, a little bit too oaky for me. And then I went over to the port. Well, the beginning was good, but the end was not. Then I went over to the sherry, which I was a little bit disappointed because the sherry cask didn't really come through. Then I found out that the rum cask is absolutely my wheelhouse. Very sweet, very, very nice, very overpowering of the base distillate, and I liked it. And today we are going to have the Calvados. Calvados is a very, very unique product. It is actually more of an apple cider, or cidre, which is then distilled in a special region of France. The apples actually have to fall from the trees. They're not picked. They're collected from the ground, and then they are actually fermented and then distilled. So up to 100 or maybe even 200 different types of apples come together to make the Calvados. They put it in a cask, and these casks have now been used for different whiskeys. For example, in Sweden, there was a McMurdo with Calvados finish. There was from John Glazer from Compass Box loves Calvados, and actually did a mix of affinity of, I think it was 60% whiskey and 40% Calvados, which I didn't like. And we'll have to see what happens here. So this is whiskey base number 147847. Now, all of the bottles you saw before, and this one especially, is whiskey that has been matured in first fill bourbon casks. Yay. All of these bottles were non-chilled filtered. Yay. All of these bottles were actually with no color added. Bravo. And they're all filled at 43% ABV, alcohol by volume, which is really, really nice, to be honest. All right, and they are actually for a price of about 26 euros over here in Germany, which is a bargain, actually, for what you're getting here for these finishes. No age statement. We don't know how long the finish is. We don't know how old the whiskey is in here. All right. John O'Connell has his PhD in food chemistry. He's a mad scientist, genius, and maybe the mastermind of West Cork. He, together with his friends Dennis and Gur McCarthy, started West Cork and Union Hall. In 2003, they moved to Skibaron in 2013, and they expanded in 2017. They are the supplier of spirits, especially gin and vodka and some whiskey, Irish whiskey, for Lidl over here in Europe. They actually have the capacity of up to 4 million liters of pure alcohol a year. Not just whiskey, but still, that's a lot of bottles that are going out that door there. They're running 24/7, 7 days a week, which is a fantastic. All right, they're available in 70 different countries, and now they're totally 100% Irish owned as well. They used to have a minority partner for Halewood that they had to buy out with 18 million euros just recently at the end of 2019. All right, the nose, Calvados is a very light spirit. It's not an overpowering spirit like the rum. It's not overpowering like the port was, or even the Virgin Oak. It's very, very light spirit, and I'm getting a lot of that green wood, a lot of that young spirit. Oh yeah, I had the green wood in the Teeling single pot still, by the way, and I'm getting it here as well. You put whiskey into a cask, you leave it there for 3 to 4 years, and you pull it out. It's going to be fairly young, unless you distill it to a certain cut points and so on that you can actually make something happen with it. Kingsbarn was a good example of that, which is a very, very from Dream to Dram, which was a very nice young whiskey. 1770 from Glasgow is also a very, very nice product that's very young and still very, very nice. Otherwise, you need to have a little bit of a longer time in the cask, which I think this did not have. They have the Rocket at the West Cork Distillers. They put 1,000 liters of their mash in there, and within 7 minutes, they've stripped it of its alcohol, which is a very quick process. That would be called the spirit still, or the wash still, I'm sorry, and the spirit still would be from Holston. They have two interesting pot stills there that they probably use for that more. It's just young. It's green. Green apples, green pears, green currants, green plums, a little bit of lychee. I'm getting some vanilla, some grain. Ah, cilantro. Cheers. Mm. Mm-hmm. Oh no. The green spirit takes over from the finish. Now, Irish whiskey has a little bit of a deficit sometimes, that there are not that many whiskeys out there that just stand all on their own. It says, hey, we're a bourbon matured whiskey and we're great. A lot of the whiskeys, think Teeling, um, the revivals, the Renaissance, think of all those finishes. Here, think of all the finishes you've had here by the West Cork. There's a stout, there's an IPA. This is the stout, and the green bottle's the IPA. These are very, very, very nice whiskeys, by the way, especially with the price point over here, about 25 euros again. West Cork is producing some very, very good products at a very good price, and they're producing some products where I was like, nah, wait a few years. And this is wait a few years. I'm sure the Calvados casks were exactly right, but if the green spirit that they're using is not mature enough to actually give a platform in which the finish can perform, then it just kind of counterproductive. They should have waited a few years here as well. The rum was really, really nice. I like that. The rum took over enough that it gave a nice little push to everything we had. But the Calvados is just so it's just a light spirit, such a light moment that it's not going to do it for you. Now, what I haven't done, and I didn't even do in my German video as well, is I did not dilute it down to maybe about 30 some percent here. And let's see what happens. What type of aromas. Getting some cask char. Getting a lot of that malt again. Getting a little bit of the green apples. Mm. 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 The Calvados really is there. And even towards the end, okay. Interesting. That was nice. That was a pleasant experience. So if you dilute your Calvados West Cork down to 30%, you're going to have a much better experience than at 40%, which is counterintuitive, but that's the way it is at the moment. Let's double check, see what happens here, and then let's try this. Let me give this a grade. The 30% Calvados West Cork, I would actually give a solid C. Nope. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. C minus. This all goes downhill after that. Calvados doesn't take over anymore. All right, value for money, C minus. If you're going to buy something, go for the rum cask, is my personal opinion. The sherry wasn't bad, actually, but there wasn't much sherry. And the port was very good on the nose, and it tapered off just the same thing here as the Calvados, unfortunately. All right, let's wait and see what happens here with West Cork distilleries in the future. Thank you very much for watching. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Hopefully you'll be able to find these one day. Thank you very much for these interesting experiences here, tasting all these different whiskeys. Let's put them all up here one last time so we can see them. And I will once again crown my rum as my favorite. Thank you very much. Please comment. My question of the day was, what whiskeys do you know that have a Calvados finish except for Macmillan and Compass Box? And if you have any questions, please contact me at whiskyjason@gmail.com. Otherwise, like, subscribe, tell others, maybe hit the bell if you want. Every once in a while I do go live. And thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.